it appears that Dwight Howard is going to be in the running. Ben Heisler is here from MLB Sirius XM. It seems like there is no reason for him to stay in Los Angeles, though I think if the Lakers were smart, they would absolutely keep him because their team just seems decimated with age. When Kobe Bryant was out, this was interesting. I believe this is via Yahoo Sports. Pre and post Kobe. Averages before Kobe's injury, 17 points, 12.5 rebounds, 11 field goal attempts per game. After the Kobe injury, I understand it was only 2 games, and I'm throwing that in there, humongous asterisk next to this. However, after the Kobe injury, which consisted of 2 games against good teams, 21 points, 17.5 rebounds, 15 field goal attempts. It seems like a no-brainer that the Lakers need Dwight Howard. Paul Gasol is not going to be the tough 5 to go down there and bang and get the Dwight Howard numbers rebounding-wise and even points-wise. So let me start with this, and then we'll go into the free agency talks. Should the Lakers keep Dwight Howard? His
numbers were, like as you said, they were good Dwight Howard numbers. They weren't spectacular Dwight Howard numbers. And he never really clicked in D'Antoni's system. There were never moments of greatness from Howard that we saw in Orlando. As far as whether or not he stays in LA, it's really a question of whether or not he feels like, A, it's about the money because he can make a lot more in Los Angeles, and B, whether it's a good system fit for him. They had a good system for him in Orlando, and for whatever reason in LA, it just didn't seem to work well for him. And the other thing, too, is that with him and Gasol both down in the post, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They never played well. They weren't efficient together. So if you have a whole offseason to try and fix that and make it better, maybe you can do something. But to me, as far as the best place for Dwight Howard to make a name for himself again and to get back to superstar status from someone who's dominating the league at the center position, I don't think it'll be in LA. I think it'll be somewhere else.
I completely agree with you. By the way, going back to your Mike D'Antoni thought, a lot of this could have fallen on Steve Nash being injured because Nash and D'Antoni obviously have history in Phoenix. Could that have worked out? Maybe. I don't think it would have been the Amare Nash pick and roll offense that D'Antoni likes to run because Nash is older and Dwight does not seem like the kind of guy, his maybe even lower body-wise, that had the Amare Stoudemire-esque sort of ability to just go up there, hit the mid-range J, which he obviously can't do. Amare improved with his time at Phoenix. So with Steve Nash being out, that possibly could have helped with that. Now, to your point about a max deal, Houston can offer a max deal if they get rid of Thomas Robinson out of Kansas, who it appears they are trying to trade. He's about $3.6 million. 3.64, I believe, is the most. So if they get rid of Thomas Robinson, they're absolutely going to try to sign Dwight Howard. The other teams that are interested, Ben, are obviously Houston and the Lakers, but also Dallas and Golden State. So out of those 3, let's say, the Lakers are obviously interested. But between the Warriors, the Mavericks, and the Rockets, which one do you think would be best for him?
Oh, I absolutely think it's the Rockets because now you can play pick and roll with Jeremy Lin, and you can have Omer set the pick over the top of the key. He played very well with Lin, and then that clears out a lot of space for Harden. Parsons is also another guy that can spread the floor. And, I was talking to my buddy Deontay Prince, who we went to school with, who's an NBA editor over at Sporting News. I was asking him about whether or not you have 2 big guys in Omer and Dwight in the post that could really make that work. And he said, particularly because of the shooting depth of the backcourt and also with Parsons, when you can spread the floor that much, that allows both Howard and Omer to really be able to have good post presence and be able to set up a lot of those guys with an inside-outside game. I think it makes a lot of sense.
I understand that. I don't disagree with you. However, if you want to really value the outside shooting, Jeremy Lin and Chandler Parsons have to be more consistent. Because there would be games when Chandler Parsons would go like 8 of 11, and then he'd go 1 of 10. And I understand that those are good shooting nights and bad shooting nights. A little more consistency could go a long way for this team. By the way, the bigs right now for Houston, Omer Ashik, we still say Omer like he's with Chicago. Terrence Jones out of Kentucky. Thomas Robinson, who they're going to try to ship off. And then Royce White, who I think they could be more supportive of instead of bashing heads through the media. So Royce White still hasn't played for them. You saw who we think should be a good fit. What do you guys think? Leave a thought in the comments. We'd love to hear all of your thoughts on that as well.